Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Irfan and this video is brought to you by Mavio. Follow us on social media and let's connect and build together. So today's lecture focuses on open science framework and reproducible and transparent workflows. So in clinical data science, we need to make sure that our workflows are reproducible. If we repeat those steps or if we execute the workflow, it should yield the same results as the first one. And our hypothesis, the purpose of our research is transparent before even the data is collected or before the research is started. So let's get into that. First of all, let's look into the reproducibility crisis in medicine. And the problem is that many clinical AI studies fail to reproduce because of hidden data cleaning steps or specific software versions that aren't documented. So this problem arises because of some bad coding practices and bad research practices that many people still follow. For example, if we have the data pre-processing pipelines, we do that in one environment. For example, we do the data pre-processing in Colab, then we shift into a fast API app or a backend app. So everything is fragmented, or code bases are fragmented, or data analysis steps or model training, everything is fragmented, and our dependencies or software versions are not defined properly. And then we have hypothesis shifting or p-hacking, which is basically manipulating the hypothesis after the data is collected. So these are the bad practices that are still being followed, and this problem arises because of that. The standard is that our project needs to be repeatable. And repeatability requires that the same data and the same code yields the same exact results regardless of the environment. So we need to have the whole repository in one place, and when we run that repository in any environment, in any OS, it should yield the same results. So to tackle this problem, we need to look into the solution on how to solve this problem. And to solve this, we have three pillars. First of all is the transparency resolution. To solve the transparency problem, we pre-register our research plan and our study plan on platforms like Open Science Framework, etc. So this is basically publicly filing research hypotheses and methods before touching or collecting the data. We document all of our research study or research plan, and this looks something like this. For example, if we have a look at, this is a template of an OSF pre-registration. So first of all, we define our hypothesis or research hypothesis, and we define our design plan or study type. We define our study design, and also the everything about our study before we even touch the data or collect the data. So it needs to be transparent, and this makes sure that the data, the research purpose is not changed, and make sure that the p-hacking is avoided or it's not possible. So we have this whole template. We need to make sure to pre-register or research in this way on this platform called OSF or Open Science Framework. So this will solve the problem of transparency. Next, we have the environment control. So for that, we need to clearly define our dependencies and freeze the software version using containers like Docker to ensure consistent execution everywhere. So there is this concept of containerization in software, that when we make an application or we train a model, we dockerize it or we containerize that application into a Docker container, and that Docker container runs on any OS or any system regardless of the underlying OS differences. So and the environmental control could look something like this. Here we have clearly defined the project, the our dependencies in their versions. So if mm, in the future, if a new version of pandas reappear, our project will still use this one, and our project will not crash. So we need to make sure to specify the versions of the softwares that we use and freeze them. And then we need to define our Docker file in our project to containerize this whole project and make sure that it runs on any OS in any system without any problems or troubles. So the third is automation. So we need to use a continuous integration and continuous deployment pipelines to verify that the code changes do not break scientific study. So we need to have proper GitHub repositories and webhooks that whenever we make changes to our code, these changes are deployed in real time, and so we can test them and make sure that those code changes do not break the scientific study. So these are the solutions to our problem that we were facing, the reproducibility, repeatability, and transparency problems. So when we are pre-registering our models, we follow a framework called the PCOTS framework, in which we define some elements of our research. First of all, we define the population, the specific patient demographic or group that we are targeting. For example, adults with type 2 diabetes. Then the intervention plan. This is basically our AI model or technical treatment. For example, this could include a transformer based risk model or sepsis risk model, etc. Then there is the comparison. We compare our model with the current clinical gold standard. For example, for this one, it could be a manual nurse triage score, and then the outcome is measured clinical metric. This is basically our output variable or target variable that we are targeting, which could be a 30-day hospital readmission. This could be an outcome metric. And lastly, we have timing, which is the duration of follow up or observation. So, for example, it could be a 12-month observation period, etc. So, we need to define those elements in our pre registration, and this is called the PICOT framework. Next, the scientific integrity. Public re-registration prevents data dredging or changing your hypothesis to fit the results after you already seen them. So, scientific integrity of research is very important, especially in clinical data science or the medical field. So, before the data is collected, there should be a proper transparency of what the goals are and what the hypothesis is. By defining these elements, we are framing upfront to ensure the research remains transparent, ethical, and statistically rigorous. And we ensure that p-hacking or manipulating the hypothesis cannot be done after these study plans are published. The open science best practices. So now we are advancing from a working script to a professional repository structure, and this is essential for defense, readiness, and peer review. So we need to have our data in a specific folder called content, which contains raw data, processed data, along with all the metadata documentation. So we should not delete any type of data. For example, if we process a data, we collect the raw data and we process them. We process that data. We need to have the raw data as well. We should not delete that, and we should keep that data in our project in the raw data section. Then we have the notebooks or the research. These are dedicated to exploratory data analysis and visualization, etc. We have to have a repository for them in the scripts, and these are for our model training and evaluation. We need to have specific repositories for these as well. So an ideal project structure or a repository structure could look something like this. For example, if we look at this project, this is our research or our where our notebooks lie. So there we can have our exploratory data analysis, etc. In our data folder, we could have the processed data, the raw data, and everything, every type of data that we have processed or we have collected. We have the research notebooks, etc. Then we have the Docker file, we have the requirements in which we clearly define the dependencies and their versions, freeze their versions. We also have the source code and the models, and everything is included in this whole repository. So our repository should include everything from the data, from the data analysis or the research that we are doing, from every notebook, from our model training. So these everything should be inside our main repository in order to make this code reproducible and transparent. Environment management. For environment management, we use Docker containers, which help us freeze the entire OS and software environment to ensure reproducibility. So if we have a Docker container, inside it are all the dependencies of our application, and we do not need to install extra dependencies, or we do not need to set up environments again and again. We can just run those Docker containers in any type of OS. And we have the conda and dependencies managing specific library versions, just like we have seen right now, to avoid dependency hell, because these libraries and these software are constantly updating. So we need to make sure to freeze versions and define the versions that we are using in our projects. And then there is the hardware parity, documenting CPU, GPU requirements for model performance consistency. And this will also help us in our cloud cost planning and management. So this is the CI/CD in clinical research. First of all, we use the local scripts to kind of make a pipeline, and then we use CI/CD pipelines like GitHub Action, etc., to automate our whole research and application development. And then we deploy the deployment ready, production ready application or research on cloud. So this is the pathway. It starts from local scripts and it goes through the CI/CD pipelines, and finally is deployed on cloud for production ready or integrating in medical infrastructures. The data management plans are also very important. We need to have proper metadata documentations, that every variable in your dataset must be documented with units and clear definitions. We need to have the HIPAA safe harbor de-identification to ensure that the patient privacy standards are met at the dataset level. We also need to leverage cloud platforms like AWS for high performance retrieval of clinical narratives. And last but not the least, we have to make sure versioning to tracking data versions is clearly and rigorously as code revisions. And we need to have track of every version of our data. Then the cloud cost estimation. This is also very important because budgeting for high performance simulation is critical for research sustainability and grant compliance. So, for example, CPU simulations, they are not that expensive, and then the GPU, standard GPU training, this is costs us medium, and then training large transformers or LLMs, they are very expensive. So we need to budget according to our cost plans and our requirements. So this is the whole reproducibility checklist. The data should be de-identified and metadata should be complete. The environment should be set up and all the libraries should be frozen to a version. There should be a clear documentation. Pre-processing steps are defined in a README file. The model cards is performance and bias documented clearly. So it should be also be documented clearly. And the ethical constraints should also be considered. For example, are out of scope uses identified. And last but not the least, the integrity, the study plans of the projects are needs to be OSF pre-registered. So this is the whole reproducibility checklist that we need to follow. So that's it.